Welcome, everybody, to the
I'm Fat Podcast.
Snacks are best saved for later.
With Jay Zawoski.
That man ate all our shrimp and 2 plastic lobsters.
And Rick Camp.
Out the mist came a beast.
Damn. Welcome into another edition of the I'm Fat Podcast. If you're watching on the YouTubes, Jay turned towards me. I was like, wait, which way do I have to turn towards him? And I was wrong. I was wrong. So
I had to think about it.
I have to turn to my right,
Yeah.
even though to look at Jay, like when I'm looking at my screen, it's to my left.
Yes.
So that's fun.
It's always hard for me. I have to think about it. Okay, that's that way. So yes, look, we did a little Brady bunch looking at each other in the YouTube boxes there.
Yes. And it did not go great. So yeah. So well, I just screwed myself with the intro here. So I'm Fat Podcast. We're here.
Yeah.
Brought to you by our sponsors, Charlie the Bacon Guy, Mazda of Orland Park, Frato's Culinary Kitchen, Nick and Ivy Brewing. Hi, Jay.
Hi. It's good to see you.
Yeah. It's been about a week?
About a week.
Yeah.
About right. Aside from our stupid ass texts we send each other all the time.
Oh yeah, our text thread. It's like half. Let me put this in here so I remember it for the podcast, and
Yes.
half stupid TikToks that we know will make each other laugh.
Or okay, yes, laugh. We'll go with that.
Yes. Well, true. Yeah. fair.
Speaking of TikTok, you can follow us there at I'm Fat Pod. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, all at I'm Fat Pod. We've got our merchandise shop, I'mFatMerch.com, with some brand new designs from our buddy Mark Fishman.
What?
New stuff this week. So we've got the I'm Fat Podcast written out in the ransom letter format.
Yes.
All the fast food logos. So we're not going to tell everybody, but I see In-N-Out Burger for the I, M for McDonald's. The F is Fuddruckers, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
The A looks like Arby's.
Arby's.
Taco Bell T.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let everybody else.
Portillo's P.
Yeah, check those out. We've got the if you're frying, I'm buying with the air fryer on it, the deep fryer.
I love that.
And then in celebration of the TeePublic's ability to give you tie-dye, we have a Grateful Dead bear that says grateful for bread. And it's a tie-dye design by default. But you can get any of our TeePublic shirts in any color you want, any design you want, tank top, hoodie, the tri-blend shirts, the classic cotton, whatever you're looking for.
Thong.
For you. Thong, but banana hammock, whatever you need, they've got it for you at TeePublic. So go to I'mFatMerch.com. That will take you directly to our I'm Fat Podcast storefront on TeePublic. Stock up on any of these new designs or, of course, our myriad classic designs, all available, like we said, at I'mFatMerch.com. Make sure you're subscribed, all that great stuff. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And look, it would be really, really helpful if you're listening to this podcast and you navigate over to youtube.com/I'mFatPodcast and just subscribe to our page. We've got to get 1,000 subscribers to start making a little bit of money off of YouTube, that evil corporation that it is. We're around 800. So if you just got a minute, even if you have no intention of ever watching the show on YouTube, which I can't really blame you.
Right.
It's perfectly reasonable. Please head over to YouTube and subscribe to the page. We'll give you a minute to do that right now. Okay, youtube.com/I'mFatPodcast. And just navigate down there. You'll see the subscribe button. Go ahead and just hit that.
Yep.
All right, we're good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, thank you for doing that for us. We appreciate that. Very, very helpful indeed. And we love you for that. All right, let's get the show started, shall we?
Sure.
Rick?
Yeah.
This week, I made a mistake, food-wise.
Oh, no.
So I've been talking about Freddies on 31st and Union a few times. One of my favorite spots. And like I told you, I've been kind of in a rut with my food lately. So I've been going to different places before work. I work in the West Loop. I live in Homewood. So I leave very early in case there's going to be some sort of catastrophic traffic incident, because nothing stresses me out more than being like late or rushed or unsure. So I almost always leave for my 2:00 show around 10:30 or 11, just to get there and ease in and I know I'm going to have lunch on the way. So sometimes I get to work really early. But anyway, I've been kind of in a rut with the food. So I've been going to Freddies because they got a huge menu. So this week I just got I want to try their buffalo boneless wings, which were good, and fries. And I'm like, you know what? Throw in a pizza puff while you're at it because I'm a little bit hungry.
Yeah.
Well, I sent you a photo of that pizza puff. And I don't know if this captures the essence of the size of this pizza puff.
It's like they closed off half of a pot pie.
Yes.
Like
okay.
A full pot pie.
Remember back in the day when you were a kid and you would play football with your friends and you would buy the brand was like Baden, Baden.
Yeah.
It was like a rubber football and it was a mini football and it was super easy to catch because it was incredibly grippy. The laces were like rubber and you can move them. It was that size of a pizza puff. This is a calzone. That is not a pizza puff. That is misleading. Yeah. So I ordered that on top of the boneless wings, on top of the huge order of fries. And first of all, you've got the fat shame of being the guy at the table with 3 separate trays of food. Just you. And then people are looking at you like, you're going to eat all that food? And I couldn't. I ate half the pizza puff. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to finish this thing. If I finish this, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be physically ill if I finish this. So I take it. And that night, like, we're going to the Cubs game. So I couldn't, like, take it home. So I brought it to work and I gave half to our social media coordinator, Casey, who is about the size of my leg.
Yeah.
And she took down the other half impressively.
Nice.
But I will say, now that I've had this, it's very good. But if the people from Freddies are listening, I would say, like, the middle part of my calzone, like, the cheese was not melted yet.
Oh, okay.
They put it's interesting, probably to make it melt faster. The cheese, like tiny little cubes, like not cube, like you buy like those little cheese cubes to snack on, or like what you put like an appetizer, like tiny microscopic cubes.
So almost like the cubes of cheese that are in a pizza roll.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly like that.
Okay.
It's like the middle of this had not melted yet. It wasn't cold, but a lot of the cheese had not melted yet. Okay. That said, the dough was excellent. The sauce, I just got a cheese one. The sauce inside was great. The cheese that was melted was excellent. The dough was fantastic. So it was really, really good. But I think it just needs to be like cooked a little longer. Also, I let it sit for a while before I ate it. So it's not like I cut it the second it came out of the fryer.
Sure.
And that was the other thing. They're like, do you want it fried or baked? And when they give you that decision, you know, I always say, what do people tend to get? Because I don't want to be the guy that just says, "Ooh, fried, please."
Yeah.
Be a fat ass in front of everybody. Not that it matters. But I go, what do people usually get? She goes, fried. I go, great. I'll take that. Because I knew she was going to say that.
Yeah.
So
layer of protection.
Yes. So I got it. It was really, really good. Not fully melted. Had it been fully melted, I think it would have been like a solid 8 or 9 out of 10. But a little note there. But the boneless wings were good. Little pricey. I only got 6 and they were like $8 or so.
Okay.
They weren't overly huge by any means. And the fries at Freddy's are great. But if you're ever going to a Sox game, 31st and Union, right there. That's the southwest corner. The northwest corner is Pancho Pistola's, which is my favorite Mexican food in the city. Lawrence Holmes just went there this week and made an Instagram post about it. He said he got a breakfast burrito, which I've never had from there. Yeah, but you can't go wrong at that corner, Pancho Pistola's or Freddy's. And I will make a note too that they had, it's like a longer wait for the pizza puff.
Okay.
Like 10 minutes or so to bake it.
Apparently it needs to be a little longer.
I see. That's the thing is, like, I came up and I said, because I actually had gone to the bathroom and taken a phone call. So I came up and I said, did you call me yet? And I think sometimes when people do that, they think people are being impatient.
Oh, yeah.
But I sincerely thought I might have missed it. So maybe they kind of rushed it out to get it to me.
Okay.
But otherwise, excellent. Good place.
Nice.
Can't recommend.
All right. So I think what? No, I'll start. Okay, so I was at the Jewels this week,
Jules.
and I wanted to try something a little different dessert wise. So usually lately, I don't know about you, but I go through cycles about just wanting to get ice cream and just have bowls of ice cream versus getting like, some sort of thing, whether it's like your strawberry, what is it? Oh my God, why am I blanking? Is it like the Eclair brand or whatever? This,
Yeah, like the Little Debbie's or whatever. Like
yeah.
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So doing something like that, I just wanted bowls of ice cream. So I was looking to see if anything that I usually get is on sale. It was not. So I'm like, okay, leave some room for to try something different. And I feel like I had heard, and I'm probably gonna butcher the name, like Tillamook or whatever.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd seen it and like heard of it, but I hadn't had it. And I'm like, well, if nothing's gonna be on sale, then I might as well at least try something. And especially for like just ice cream that you're getting out of the freezer at the Jewels, it's good.
Yeah, dude,
like a little creamier.
Yes.
Than like Breyers, or because I always just go off of like Breyers and Edie's, and I've always been Breyers over Edie's person. But like it's not as like where Breyers is almost, it's not quite like a Baskin Robbins where it's that together, but it's almost like if you were to make a progression of it, it'd be like Baskin Robbins is the most like the hardest ice cream. You know what I mean? Like
firmest.
Yeah, firmest. Thank you. I couldn't find that word. Yeah. Then in the middle would be Breyers, and then after that would be Tillamook. And I was like really here for it. I got the cookie dough.
Nice.
Awesome.
So
really good.
Do they have those in pints, or did you buy like the bigger, like what I don't know what you call the next step up from a pint?
I got the bigger one. Yeah, I didn't see any pints of them there. So I was like, all right, I'm all in. I mean, it's ice cream. It can't be that bad. Yeah. So I was willing to take the risk. And yeah, just like if you want an alternative for just like, if you want a little bit creamier, like the ingredients, it was just cookie dough. So it's tough to mess that up, but really good. Like the actual little bites of cookie dough are very good. Like right on par with what you would expect. And just like that style of ice cream, that is a really nice option that's going to be in my ice cream rotation now.
That's a good brand. And they also make cheese. So you can buy like their if you're buying shredded cheese for like white people taco night or whatever.
Sure.
They've got this like thicker shredded cheese.
Mm-hmm.
It's more expensive, that's for sure. But like if you're having baked potatoes or something, the Tillamook cheese is incredible because it melts great. It's like a little bit thicker and creamier than your typical like Sargento or what's that brand, Lucerne, which sounds like a medication of some kind,
right? Or an Arrested Development bit.
Yes, he was bit by a Lucerne. Yes, but the Tillamook brand is good. My mom got their ice cream. I feel like she got like a raspberry, like chocolate, like a raspberry chocolate chip or something like that. Or
if that was there, I would have gotten that 1,000% because I have been on such a raspberry chip type thing for a while. I could have missed it, or it just wasn't at my Jewels. But if I find that, it will be consumed.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know because I buy her ice cream all the time, so that might have been a mix-up. But she does like the Tillamook. She is a Haagen-Dazs. My mom is always my mom is very brand like conscious, and she thinks if it's more expensive, it has to be better.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, I need Haagen-Dazs. I'm like, okay. So I get her the caramel cone or the pralines and cream. Probably is the other one that she really likes. So, I mean, it's fine. I don't pay for it.
Right?
They pay for it, so go nuts. But yeah, the Tillamook stuff is good. But yeah, if you're doing like baked potatoes or tacos or whatever, make sure you find that Tillamook cheese. They also sell these like individually wrapped like little snacking cheeses.
Oh, okay. Almost like a Baby Bell type vibe.
No, it's like a flatter. I don't know, like a flat. Think of like the like a ruler.
Okay, so almost like it would go on like a club cracker type thing.
Yeah, probably. Okay. Actually, that's very smart of you, Rick. Probably exactly the size you would put on a club cracker. Yes. And they probably
every once in a while, I don't sound like an idiot for 2 seconds.
every now and again.
Yeah.
I know we have some taste tests today, right?
We do.
Yes. Do you have 2 or 3?
I have one.
Oh, you have one. I have one too. All right.
Okay.
Well, why don't you go first? Because I'm very intrigued by this.
Okay. So in the same trip I was at the Jewels, on one of these like end caps, might have actually even been in the ice cream aisle. They had stuffed, puffed, big bites. So it's filled marshmallows, and this is cookies and cream for those that are not watching on the YouTubes. I don't know how to feel about this going into it. I have not had one as of yet. So let's see.
I don't
It
know.
almost looks like marshmallow sushi in a way.
Oh, fun. I have seen these before, and I don't know why I have not bought them.
Okay. So it's got like an Oreo cookie casing on the marshmallow, and it feels like more
crumbly?
dense. Yeah, crumbly.
Okay.
It feels like a more dense marshmallow, which makes sense because there's supposed to be like the cookies and cream stuff inside of it. So we're not going to really have any ASMR here. So I'll take a bite of it because it's a GD marshmallow. All right.
There's a little bit. Show me the
That's
inside.
pretty good.
Give me an inside view.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So a lot of marshmallow and then a little bit of that cookies and cream.
So is there like an outer layer on like outside them? I see that. So to me, it looked like it was a marshmallow just coated with cookies and cream.
Well, can you see inside it, like there is that discoloration? That's cookies and cream in there.
Okay.
Because if you look at that, like versus what the package is, it's supposed to be stuffed with cookies and cream.
Yeah, it's kind of backwards.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
I will be buying those. Those look.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome.
I've had a bit of an issue lately with like marshmallow flavored things.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten like a marshmallow, like on my Sunday at Dairy Queen, and I find that a lot of the marshmallow flavored things don't taste very good. Marshmallows are great, and marshmallow fluff is great, but marshmallow flavoring, it's tasting very chemically to me lately. So
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I haven't had anything recently like that, but it's never. I think that's part of the reason s'mores stuff is generally like if you're thinking of like a concept like a Blizzard or something, like that's not something that I generally default to. I went through a stretch with it, but like it's not normally my default
because the artificial is so artificial tasting. Not that a marshmallow is a natural thing,
right?
But the way they're trying to duplicate marshmallow taste is not working.
Yeah. That's all right. That's good. Like, I don't know. Like, that's one of those where I could maybe have like a couple at a time. It might be a little much for me to have more than like 2.
Well, it's probably how it's supposed to be. What's a serving?
Oh God.
Air quotes. Serving.
1 piece.
Yeah.
But 90 calories.
For one?
For one.
How much sugar is in one?
Oh boy. Let's see. Total sugars, 11 grams.
Okay. That's not bad. I can have one of those or 2 of those a day and be fine.
Yeah.
All right. My wife found these somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't forget where. Maybe a 7-Eleven.
Okay.
These are the brand of potato chips.
Did you God, she's gonna kill me for asking this. Did you grab the bag and just like immediately put it in her face?
I should have. Damn it. I should have. If you're not watching on YouTube, and damn it, you should be. The brand is Fat Sack. The flavor of chip is Hot Wings.
Where were these found?
Everybody loves a fat sack. It says on the back. I don't know. She said for where, and I forget.
Okay.
Probably like a 7-Eleven or something like that. All right.
Yeah. I feel like chips when you initially there's no chip that when you had initially opened the bag that has a good smell. I think there's a lot have like a neutral or like basically no smell, but if if there is a distinct scent upon opening a bag, it's generally not good. But I also think that has nothing to do with the flavor.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try it. Smelling the chip itself, it just smells like buffalo wing sauce.
Okay.
Let's try it. Let's put this fat sack in my mouth.
It's a tea bag taste test.
Actually, that's excellent.
Oh.
That's really good. And it's not chicken flavored. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of artificial flavors that are bad, any sort of artificial meat flavor, bad.
Yeah. Ooh, a little kick to it, too.
Nice.
That was way better than I thought it was going to be.
How dare you doubt the fat sack?
Never. I'm going to text her and see where she got these.
Okay.
Where did you find the fat sack? I'm a child.
Right. When I woke up this morning and you had kicked off the sheets. That's
The problem is it's not that that's fat, it's everything else.
oh, okay.
Anyway, sponsor wants to follow that up. I'm going to say,
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to Mazda of Orland
I was going
Park.
to say, let's drive away from that situation in your Mazda CX-30.
I feel like Eric Bates listens the least frequently of all of our sponsors.
Wow, I don't ever snort. That was pretty good.
So we'll have him follow up the fat sack. Go get yourself a CX-5, a CX-30, a CX-90, the CX. No, there's a CX-3. No, the Mazda 3.
Yeah,
I said 50.
Mazda 6.
Mazda 6.
Yeah.
Is the Miata still out? I don't know. My uncle drove one of those.
You know what the Miata weighs as much as? Me.
It's a fat sack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not very much. He lived in Florida. It was cool. 8910 West 159th Street in Orland Park, 708-444-3200. Give him a call or visit their website, MazdaofOrlandPark.com. Jokes aside, I love my Mazdas. I've got two, a CX-5 from 2015 and a CX-30 from 2022. And they are beautiful cars. They run great, super reliable. The only maintenance I've had to do is routine. Just the routine, getting the oil changes, getting the brake pads, changed when the time comes, and they both run beautifully. Brand new. They run like they're brand new. I love them both, and I'll be a Mazda customer for life, not only because the cars are great, but because of the buying experience at Mazda of Orland Park. So become a Mazda customer for yourself. MazdaofOrlandPark.com. Go say hi. Go visit Eric at Mazda of Orland Park. All right. I have a confession.
Is this a fat fashion?
It is a fat fashion. Yesterday, I had 3 servings of salad.
Was it a taco salad?
No, it was better than that.
Was it
Okay,
a
I'd never
pasta
had
salad?
It was a taffy apple salad.
Oh,
Okay, so I got in this argument with my cousin who was hosting the party, Allison. I'm like, I had 3 servings of salad. I deserve cookies. She's like, that's taffy apple salad. I go, and I just pointed at the sign. They had a sign on it. I don't know what
salad.
it was. I just tapped the salad sign many, many times. So basically, I know
With your fat sack.
everyone has had this except me. It is literally like whipped marshmallows,
Okay.
actual marshmallows, chunks of apple, and I know some have nuts, some don't. This one had nuts.
Okay.
It was freaking amazing.
Huh.
I had big balls of that stuff. I ate what's on that screen. I probably ate half of that. And that is like a
Wow.
significant size. That's like a potato chip bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Taffy apple
sounds
salad.
great.
So if you see it at a party, Rick,
Mhm. Yes.
I know you don't love nuts, but
Right.
they kind of blend in here.
Okay.
Like they don't really stand out. They just kind of give it a crunch more than anything.
Okay.
Instead of being kind of a mushy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, have that.
Okay.
Because I've seen it for years. I'm like, is that mayo? What is that? And then Addie
Yeah.
got, and in my newfound, like, I'll try anything that I've been in lately.
Mm-hmm.
I told Addie, like, give me a spoonful of it and I'll try it. And I immediately stood up and filled my plate with it.
It's like I can imagine you like take the bite, you turn away slowly, stand up casually, grab your plate, and then boom, you're like there.
Yeah, gone. It was awesome. And I've seen it at parties, and I just never knew what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I will be stalking taffy apple salad. So there you go. I had 3 salads yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. So here's something I can bring up that I don't believe is betraying confidences. And I'm not saying,
No, I have clarity on where the fat sack was purchased.
Oh, yes. This is important.
The Pedway convenience store. Right outside the Metro Electric station and Millennium Station.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little newsstand. That's where the fat sack was purchased.
Interesting.
Okay, sorry.
So I'm more bringing this up because I'm not necessarily saying it's bad. I just disagree, and I'm curious how many people agree with Sam on this one. She's not a fan of like cooked or baked like fruits. So like an apple pie is like because it, like she likes it raw. The fruits.
I'm not. That was too easy. I'm not even taking that one.
Well,
if you watch on YouTube, Rick said she likes it raw, and I just rolled my eyes at him.
Yep,
Like,
pretty much.
A little bit, buddy.
Right. Nope.
I can see that. Like I can see that. I do. I told you how much I like grilled pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it just is like a juicy explosion.
Yeah.
But typically, I don't know. I like grilled vegetables. Where's she at on that? Cooked like green peppers, like peppers on a beef sandwich.
I think it's more fruits versus vegetables.
Yeah. I mean, what about cherry pie? Will she eat cherry pie?
I don't know. I haven't asked specifically about that. But I think it's one of those things where it's probably more common than I think it is. And I'm just interested in, if you are one of those people, reach out, say something, comment on all of our social medias at I'm Fat Pod, or any of our social medias, I should say. Just because it's one of those things where I hadn't really thought about that before, because everyone in my family is always just like, anytime my mom will like make an apple pie or something like that, we're like, let's go. So the fact that like, just the cooked fruits is not her jam, I'm like, interesting. I get it. Like I get it, like texture wise and stuff like that. Like here, I get it. But yeah, it's something I've given more thought to lately. I disagree, but I don't think it's like an egregious thing where it's like this is wrong.
No, I think it's probably pretty rare. Most people like apple pie, cherry pie.
Yeah.
Like, does she not like it warm? Like, will she eat it if it's room temp? Is it a temperature thing?
I don't think it's I don't think it's a temperature thing necessarily. I guess technically just because of what the temperature does to it, but like, I think if it's just like warmed up, probably fine. But yeah, like if it was just like apples there with maybe like some caramel or something on it, probably just be here for it. But if it's like, cooked in a pie, whatever, then no.
I mean, Sam's lovely, but there are some troubling food takes happening here lately.
Well, and I clearly have none of those. So,
Fair enough. All right, fine.
Yeah. It was just one of those things I found interesting, especially as like yesterday she was giving one of her dogs a pill and like, putting it in peanut butter so the dog would eat it and whatever. And then I lean in to pet the dog and I'm just like, oh, hey, how's it? Oh, peanut butter smell. Like I'm like, I just like, I couldn't even, I don't even like the smell, man.
That's so weird. That is a little bit strange. We tease you about it and like what they like or whatever, but the fact you have an aversion to the smell is weird. Did something happen to you with peanut butter?
Well, and that's what I was just gonna say is like there's no like PTSD associated with it. I just don't like it.
It's got to be
it's weird. It's weird for it to be that strong of an aversion without there being like something happened.
Yeah. Like my mom doesn't like preserves.
Okay.
She'll eat jelly, but not preserves because when she was a kid, her grandma made preserves and they like spread it on toast and there was like a bug in it. So that's
gross.
Yeah. Like that's going to impact you.
Sure.
So yeah, I get, I don't know. There's gotta be something. Search recesses. Go to therapy and figure it out.
Well,
Shit going on, but this is the most important thing. Why do I hate peanut butter?
yeah, right. The thing is, it's like I'd like to know why. I also have no desire to change it.
No, hey man, it's like me with mayo.
Yeah,
Like, I don't like it. Fine, it's the last thing I need to add to my diet.
right.
You know, like,
Yes.
there's no benefit to it for me aside from more calories and more fat and grossness. So yeah,
Right.
no, I don't need it.
Nope.
Happy without it. We talked about this a few weeks ago, but we've had some really busy shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about like kind of debuting a segment like unofficially called Things Fat People Hate.
Okay.
And it's not the smell of peanut butter. But I want to see if you agree with me on this. Well, it's kind of twofold.
Okay.
First, it's picnics. And the reason why picnics suck is because sitting on the ground sucks.
Okay. So I don't know how long ago it was now. Within the last, like, let's say 6 weeks, I think Sam and I went on a picnic. And food was good. Like the conversation good, like all that stuff. But I was changing the way I was sitting consistently.
Yes.
Because it's like, okay, my right leg's asleep. Okay, I've been like on my side so much in the paint me like your French girls, pose. And I'm like, okay, now my elbow's sore from like leaning on it when I'm like doing one of these. Okay, now I got to sit up again. Now my other leg's asleep. And then you're also shirt tugging to make sure whatever way you are that your shirt is covering everything. Like, I get it.
Yes.
I totally get it.
And you've got shoes on, and like the shoes are jamming in. You're sitting crisscross applesauce. That's the proper term now.
Yeah.
And that's digging in your foot. Your back hurts, and you're probably sweaty. And there's wind, and your food's blowing all over the place. And you like have to hold a plate like on your lap, or on the picnic blanket, and then it blows away.
Yeah.
And there's seagulls everywhere. F your picnics. If there's a table,
yeah,
I'll eat on a table. I'll eat outside at a table. Don't make me sit on the ground for an extended period of time.
Yeah, I'm not full on F picnics, but I'm like, picnics aren't an all the time thing.
Well, like this observation stemmed from, we did a movie in the park.
Okay.
For, the Homewood Baseball and Softball League. We showed the Sandlot like at the end of the year.
Nice.
And I had to like just sit on a blanket. I'm like, this is so uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable right now.
Yeah.
Like you're doing like the lean back one, things you describe, and all you're doing is constantly adjusting to how uncomfortable you are.
Right. And the thing is that when you do the lean back one and you've got enough up top as a dude, that's not great either.
No, absolutely. And then you've got to be the fat guy that gets up off the ground in front of a crowd of people.
That is such an underrated, horrific thing as a fat guy.
Thank you.
So there's this new, I don't remember the guy's handle on TikTok, and it's such a great concept that like we should do the fat version of it, of things you can't look tough doing. Have you seen this guy?
Yes.
It's so good. It's like getting out of the back seat of a two-door car, walking down a hill.
Walking with an umbrella.
Walking with an umbrella. Yeah. Like getting out of a booth. Like it's all of it is so true. Like in the first edition of that for fat people, it would be getting up off the ground.
Because it's a rollover, get up on your knees, one leg up. Chances are your ass crack is showing.
Yes.
At least. Maybe if you're not careful, your fat sack might be showing. If you got the wrong shorts on, or you split your pants.
Yeah.
Like it's unpleasant. So if you're the partner of a fat person, don't plan a picnic. Or if you do, make sure it's a place with a picnic table.
Fair.
PSA. The more you know.
Yeah. You
should also know, by the way, if you want some kick-ass beer, you should go visit our friends, Nick and Ivy Brewing Company in Lockport, Illinois, 1026 South State Street. I'm glad that I clarified Illinois on that one. people are confused.
And you gave a real solid South State Street.
South State Street, my friends.
Mhm.
Been there a couple times since they've jumped on with us and love it there.
Mhm.
Had a great time with the Project Fire Buddies thing they did a couple weekends ago. I was out in Lockport yesterday for a party, but it was such a damn busy day. I couldn't stop by. We were at the party with the taffy apple salad. Then Addie had her friend Carson's birthday party in Mokina. Then we had to get her in Mokina, go to Darien, to go to the city, to go to the concert we went to. It was a crazy day, so I didn't have time to get to Nick and Ivy, but you should, because it's great. And whatever kind of beer fan you are, if you're a person like me who will typically just grab a Modelo or a High Life or a Coors Light or whatever, or if you're a real beer connoisseur and you love, the really complex sort of things that are offered these days, Nick and Ivy has you covered. They've got every beer for every kind of beer fan. If you're a sour, a radler, IPAs, whatever you're into, they've got it for you at Nick and Ivy. It's constantly rotating. They're constantly making new things, but damn it, it's all so good. And if you love live music and you love sports, there's no better place to be than Nick and Ivy. Every Tuesday, there's open mic. Every Friday and Saturday, live acts come and play their stage. They don't have food there, but there's great food around there you can bring in and eat at your leisure. It is a super casual, laid-back, non-pretentious, top-notch beer spot. If I was to take a brewery and design it for me, it would be Nick and Ivy, because there's no pretension in there at all. It's an awesome place. So go check them out, 1026 South State Street in Lockport.
Okay. I have a quick thing from something you mentioned.
Yes.
And you mentioned that like High Life and Modelo kind of your thing.
Mm-hmm.
I caught a lot of flack at one point in time for bringing Modelo to a party.
I don't get that.
The thing is, Modelo's gotten more and more and more popular ever since then. So,
are you taking credit for it?
Should I be taking credit for the fact that Modelo is that popular, considering it was associated with, maybe my most viral moment?
I think that this is a great opportunity.
Can we prove that it's not me?
We can't, that's for sure. But I think this is a good time, considering this was probably 4 or 5 years ago this happened.
Yes.
And we probably have a lot of people that don't know us from 670 The Score. I think it is a great time, Rick, for you to rehash the greatest story of all time. And how ultimately you made Modelo cool.
Yes.
We are rebranding this story.
Yeah.
Rick makes Modelo cool.
I don't remember if
I should cue the Always Sunny music. Rick makes Modelo cool.
Yeah. I don't remember how many years ago it was now.
What was the occasion? It was a Super Bowl? Okay.
Super Bowl. I'm trying to remember who might have been Chiefs Niners.
Okay.
Maybe. So 2019, 20, I don't know, something like whatever. Either way.
I'm going to kick back with my fat sack and listen to the story.
Okay. So our friend Chris Tannehill is having some people over to his place for the Super Bowl. I get invited. Like, great. Figure bring something to drink, contribute, because Lord knows I can't cook / bake anything if it's, right now. So like, okay, I'll bring some beer. And you like in my rotation of things I'll get a taste for is Modelo, which is obviously widely available, but not like super popular in, I think it was 2019. So I'm like, okay. I grabbed, I think it was like a 6-pack of Modelo, bring that, getting close to Tanny's place. And I see it says like 500 feet or whatever till you have to turn. So I'm like, cool. Turn off the GPS. I know the house number. Turn, look for the house number. There's a couple people outside. I don't really recognize them, but I don't know who all is here. So I don't know if Chris has like, other people that we don't know, that I don't know, or maybe his wife Odie has people over too, or family or something. Who knows? So as I've talked about before, of just like, okay, like going to places I don't know, the little bit of anxiety. I'm like, this is the one time I'm like, nope, push through it. Just push through it, go to the door. Guy answers, looks a little confused. And I was like, yeah, Chris invited me, thinking Tanny somewhere else in the house or maybe making a run for something. Like, oh, I didn't like, and I also, did I know? I don't remember if I knew that it was like, this is at Tanny's house or wherever it was. Just that's where the party was. So point is, the guy lets me in, is a little confused. I'm talking to people. I'm meeting people. And Tanny knew I was close. And after a few minutes, I'm like, I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not hearing anybody either. Because it's one thing if like maybe people are in another room, but you can hear them. So I'm like, this isn't adding up. This isn't good. So I end up calling Tanny. And after I've been sitting down for like maybe 5 minutes, I call him and I'm like, dude, I stepped outside to take the call and I was not at his house. I was at some random person's house.
Who knows somebody named Chris? What are the odds?
Yes. Yeah. They had a cousin named Chris. So I bail on the Modelo, which I had put down in there. I was 1 block away.
Oh my
so
God.
when it's at like 500 feet, I actually turned in like 200 feet or whatever it was. And they had the same house number too. So I'm like,
cut to Modelo's popular.
Yes. And so I get to Tanny's and I appropriately catch a bunch of crap for it all night. Everybody tells everybody because it's so stupid. But had fun there. Party was great. And telling that story on air, one thing that I thought was not very fair, I don't remember who insinuated it at first. Might have been Parkins. That I brought Modelo because Odie's family is Guatemalan and I thought they might like Modelo more. And I'm like, that is a wild stretch.
Yes.
It's like, yes, let's try and make me have a mildly racist thought in here. Cool. Like, no, that's not what it was. I like Modelo. So no, that was not a thing. I just like Modelo.
Yeah, Modelo's excellent.
Yes. So in the many retellings of this in the immediacy afterwards, that kind of became a thing for a little bit. And I'm like, no, I just really like Modelo. So me standing up for the honor of Modelo and myself probably made Modelo very popular. And I am an idiot.
There's no other way to draw Modelo's popularity without you having it at that wrong party.
I know.
I will say this, and I have said this from the second I heard this story.
Yes.
This can happen to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You are in the city where blocks are very, very close together.
Mm-hmm.
You find the house number.
Yes.
You clearly see, by the way, a house you've never been to.
Right.
You clearly see that house has a party going on.
Yes.
You ring the doorbell. You say, Chris invited me. And they say, oh, cool, come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It could happen to anybody. It's one thing if you went to like the wrong house number.
Sure.
Or like, no, you did everything right. What screwed you was coincidence.
Yeah. And turning off the GPS early.
Sure.
Because, God forbid I actually trusted myself on anything.
Well, look, that can happen to anybody. You did exactly what you should have done. I would have gone home. I would have just been like, screw it. It's not meant to be. I'm not coming.
Yeah.
You did the right thing, leaving the beer behind. Because that way you were just able to slip out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, whatever happened to that dude? And
that was 100% the thing.
The guy came on the radio the next day, didn't he?
I don't think it was the next day. I think there was a bounty put out on him to come on. And so at some point I was on the air with him. Yeah.
That's a great story.
It
really
is.
And the reason it's just like this podcast, the reason people like it is because it's freaking relatable. It's everybody's nightmare. And the anxiety you're having walking up to that door is the same anxiety everybody has in that moment. Dude, don't feel bad about that at all. I'm sorry. That can happen to literally anybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Still
don't
funny.
feel bad about it.
Okay.
All right. Well, I had a very busy week, so I'm actually out of new stuff to talk about.
Okay. I have one more thing.
Ooh, content boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Making up for lost time. So DK Metcalf,
Oh yeah.
the receiver from the Seahawks, who is like ripped beyond all reason. Like,
By the way, congrats to the Seahawks for bringing back the throwbacks. They never should have left those in the first.
oh my God, those are so good.
Yes.
Like sometimes I think you do need a little bit of perspective, because I think when the ones they've been using first came out, I was like, solid, pretty good. But like going back to like Ricky Waters, like Steve Largent era type thing, I'm like, this is the perfect time to bring this back.
They have, when you stray from like primaries and like straight lines,
Yeah.
you are putting a timestamp on your uniform.
True.
Think of all the classic sports uniforms you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm looking at a picture of the Blackhawks uniform, Red Wings, Yankees, Cubs, White Sox. The Sox have changed forever. They always change, but they're always classic. They're pinstriped or they're like very, very like blocky.
Yes.
When you add like weird like cuts and weird angles and stuff, it's going to go out of style. And I think the Seahawks got there.
Yeah.
The perfect example of that to me is when the Buffalo Bills went navy.
Yeah, that was, yes. Like Marshawn Lynch was there, like that era.
It looked awful. Even in the time it looked bad.
So one that has actually been a change that I think made it better and has actually become iconic in time was when the Eagles went from Kelly green to like the dark, like forest green, and then sometimes black. Like that look is awesome. And like when
enough.
Yeah, it was like close enough to what it had always been, but the person that I always associate with those uniforms are like, who's the coolest looking person to have ever worn this uniform? Brian Dawkins.
Oh, Brian Dawkins is a good one too.
Because he had like the dark visor, and the way he like came out when they would do the pregame announcements, he'd do like this cool like somersault type thing. And I'm like, I don't know. And just like the fact that his style of play too, like he looked awesome in that jersey.
That said, bring back the Kelly Greens.
Yes. Well, yeah. I think at least a couple times a year. Yeah. I still really love the dark green ones, but I'm a sucker for like a dark green.
Anyway, DK Metcalf.
Yeah. Anyway, DK Metcalf was on Kevin Garnett's show or podcast or whatever on Showtime, and he talked about his diet. And you figure like with as ripped as this dude is, like he's got to have this like really set regimen and, you know, really taking care of himself. Yeah, not so much. Over the course of it, and like I think maybe the best part is like how disgusted Kevin Garnett is with his diet. Over the course of a day, DK Metcalf has one meal, a cup of coffee, and 3 bags of candy. On a daily basis, that's what he eats. Like he said, he has coffee like around noon. Like he'll drink like water, obviously, and whatever, but around noon, he'll have a coffee, and he's like you. He's big into gummy candies, so he shouted out the Lifesavers ones and the Skittles ones, and he has one meal a day at like 8 or 9 p.m. So
working,
right? It's working, and I also would love to know how giant that meal is.
Oh, it's got to be huge, and probably tons of carbs, and yeah.
But that just and Garnett's looking at him like, really? And he's just like, yeah, this is what I do. He's like NFL Derrick Rose.
Well, I mean, part of it is, and I just generally, if an athlete comes from a lower income upbringing, that they kind of had to learn to scrap and survive and like whatever it took to, you know, get through the day or whatever. I don't know if that's DK Metcalf's. I have no idea, but
I don't either.
Like I know that I have friends who have similar, or had at least similar diets, and all of them have this common thread of they grew up without a lot.
Yeah,
you know, and they kind of just had to. Well, we'll have a big dinner, but throughout the day, just kind of make it work with whatever we got. And I guess if it gets you this far,
yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. I was reading about Oppenheimer.
Mhm.
And Killian, I don't know if it's Cillian or Killian Murphy, who plays J. Robert Oppenheimer in the movie. Emily Blunt is in the movie too, and she was doing an interview, and she revealed that for Killian Murphy, who's not a big guy by any means, he's kind of skinny. It's like not scrawny, but thin.
Yeah.
For him to look like J. Robert Oppenheimer,
Mhm.
he ate an almond a day.
That's
Yeah. One almond and cigarettes. That was his diet. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
And I appreciate method acting. I appreciate method acting.
Yes.
And your noises to throw me off. But in the age of CGI,
Mhm.
can't we just make the actor look thinner in post-production?
Okay, so I was actually earlier today listening to a podcast. It's like my favorite non-sports podcast where it's Cinephobe.
Okay.
It's where they review bad movies. They
Oh,
watch and review bad movies that are 40% or under on Rotten Tomatoes. And they were doing Don't Mess with the Zohan.
oh God.
And
Sorry,
yeah,
Dave.
and they were like, so did Sandler actually work out, or they had to just like paint or CGI on abs, right?
I would imagine. I've never seen it, but I would imagine so.
Yeah, I would think they'd there's no way.
There's another podcast called "How Did This Get Made?" with Paul Scheer. You know who that is? You've seen him.
Yeah.
With like the gap tooth and he's bald.
Yes.
Like he did, and the guy who plays the guy with the wind chime penis and The Good Place.
Yes.
And the guy from The League. I can never think of his actual name. They host it and they go over they just did Break Into Electric Boogaloo, which is not a bad movie. Damn it. But yeah, very similar. I'll check that out. Cinephobe. I'm gonna write that down.
That's for sports. It's done by people that are primarily working sports, like Amin Al Hassan, who's part of Meadowlark.
Okay.
And actually, I think that podcast is now part of Meadowlark. So it's like Zach Harper from The Athletic.
Oh, nice.
Amin Al Hassan, who was with ESPN for a long time, worked in the Suns front office when like Shaq was there and that type of thing. And their like producer / co-host is Anthony Mays, who's like kind of grew up in that like realm of people. It is so funny. And
awesome.
they just hit like they'll do like, oh, an entire month based off of this person. So like they've done Travolta month. And
need more than 1 month.
I know. There's like at the part of each episode is repeat offenders.
Oh,
and so it's great. They've done like a million Sandler movies. They've done a lot of Nick Cage is like one of their main people too.
that'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll check it out. Cinephobe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that sounds good. All right, is it? Well, we should first tell people about our friends at Frato's Culinary Kitchen.
Yes,
in Schaumburg, 628 South Roselle Road in Schaumburg. I'm gonna be out that way this week. I gotta get over there. I'm making it a point to get to Frato's this week.
nice.
Not because I feel an obligation. I do a little bit, but damn it, I just want the food. So freaking good. Maybe I'll leave for work at like 9 a.m. Still hope like I gotta get there early today and go to Frato's for lunch on my way to the city. But you should too. Fredo'sPizza.com, Fredo'sBakery.com. Follow them on Instagram at Fredo's Pizza. You really get a good idea of the great things they offer there. They're always doing giveaways. They're always doing promotions on their social media. So give them a follow at Fredo's Pizza. Want to save on your online order? You're going to go in, pick up lunch or whatever. Enter the code I'm fat and you'll save 10% every time you order at Frato's Culinary Kitchen. So Jay, I'm ready to do that. What should I get? Well, you could start with the I'm Fat Burger, the I'm Fat Grilled Cheese, or the I'm Fat Pizza. They're on the menu every day because they were so damn successful when they were a promotional item, 2 summers ago? I think it's been about that long.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So try those. The Cajun Bites are amazing. The mozzarella sticks are unreal and they're huge. If you order an order of their standard mozzarella sticks, it's a meal. That is a meal. That's how big they are. And then on the weekends, they've got the giant, like the foot-long mozzarella stick. So you really can't go wrong. Everything's there. Everything there is great. And look, if you're not trying to gorge yourself with a meal, they've got something already there. Yeah, right.
Yeah, the like meal kits and stuff like that. That stuff is really cool.
It's great. They do great stuff there. Fredo'sPizza.com, Fredo'sBakery.com for their baked goods. But again, use that promo code I'm fat to save 10% on your online order at Fredo'sPizza.com, and that is a unlimited use code. So every time you go, you can use that code at Fredo's Culinary Kitchen. So with that, Richard, I believe it is time to ask the Fats.
Good, as long as you don't call me Richard.
Is that your name?
I don't like Richard.
Oh.
I'd rather be called Dick than Richard.
I can work on that.
Okay.
Ask a fat about this and that. It's time to chat with the Fats.
All right, Dick, we've got no emails and one voicemail this week. Come on,
All
people.
right.
We want to hear from you. People are tired of us. I'm fatpod@gmail.com, or the Fat phone is 708-858-3314. Before we get to that, we've got to get to this week's bacon report.
Thanks, Jay. This week we have maple pepper, six pepper, chili lime, and sriracha bacon. Bacon
Strong
jams, we have
list.
the original, the
Chili
bourbon,
lime.
the cherry jalapeno, and the chorizo. We're out of town this week, but keep your orders coming. I've gotten a few from you, and I'll get back to you as soon as I get back into the area, and we'll get your orders filled. Promise. Have a good week. Eat tons of bacon. For the Bacon Report, I'm Charlie the Bacon Guy.
You've got it, Charlie. Dick and I will eat as much bacon as we can. I promise.
Yes.
Chili lime. That's a new one, right?
I think it's relatively new.
I
Yeah.
had it before, and I haven't had that one yet. All right, got to put that one on the list. Get yourself some. CharlieTheBaconGuy@gmail.com is the way to get in touch with him. You could also hit him up on Instagram at CharlieTheBaconGuy. He's on Twitter at CZTheBaconGuy. Get in touch with him. Tell him what you want. If you've got some ideas for bacon, he will make them happen if you order enough of it. And here's the thing with Charlie is if you have an idea or he has an idea and he tries it and it doesn't work, he's not going to he'll just abandon the recipe or try to tweak it. Like, for instance, the other week we had chorizo bacon jam. He came to the CHGO studios. We had the chorizo bacon jam, and it was the second time he'd made it because the first time he's like, it was too salty or too whatever. I forget exactly what was wrong with it. So he went back to the drawing board, did it again, and it was much better the second time. So that's what he gives you. He does not give you the stuff that doesn't work. So trust him. It's great stuff. CharlieTheBaconGuy@gmail.com. Charlie the Bacon Guy on Instagram, or at CZ the Bacon Guy on Twitter. All right. One voicemail. Let's get it.
Hey, boys. This is Bobby D calling, and I wanted to add to your hot dog at home preparation suggestions. And what I've got here is the air fryer. Use an air fryer on a hot dog for about 7 minutes, maybe 5. Check it after 5, especially the natural casing hot dogs, such as like the Frankfurter from Reams Market out in Melbourne. Most markets have natural casing hot dogs. It's outstanding. But a regular hot dog would probably work just fine too. I haven't tried it. But yeah, give it a go. The air fryer for your hot dog makes it nice and crispy on the outside, hot and juicy on the inside. Thank you.
Did we do that one last week?
I think so.
See, I thought it was different because I can see like it was so the way behind the curtain, the way we get it is I get an email when I get a voicemail, and I go into the email and I can listen to it from there. And it was marked as new, and the script looked like something I hadn't seen before, but I think we had that email before. But if you missed last week's show, there you go. There's how to air fry a hot dog.
Yes. By the way, I thought I loved the air fryer. There is someone I see regularly that puts my love of the air fryer to shame.
Who's that?
And it's Sam's dad.
Oh, nice.
He like the way Bubba is to shrimp, he is to the air fryer. He's like, I put this in the air fryer and this in like if he could have one piece of equipment to make things for the rest of his life, it would be an air fryer. And you know what? I can't disagree.
You can do anything in there.
Yes.
Like yesterday morning, Hope and I went out to breakfast, and Addie came too, and we got a ton of food from Gabe.
just be like, hey, you stay at home, kid.
Well, these were Addie's hash browns that she made. So I went to Gabe's place, which we go to all the time, and there were some leftover hash browns, and Hope air fried the hash brown leftovers this morning, and they were perfect.
Nice.
You can't screw things up in there. You just can't. And did I talk to you about last week?
So if you can't screw it up, could we market that it's dick proof?
It could be dick proof, yes.
Okay. Because if I can't mess it up,
at least dick resistant.
Okay.
as so many things are.
Things, people,
Yes. But what was I saying? Oh, did I mention last week the Starbucks egg bites that they have at Costco? If I did, I don't know.
think so.
Okay, well, they sell these like sous vide egg bites at Starbucks.
Yeah,
and it's like two. They're decent size, like $quarter size and kind of fat. But they're like $4. You can get a box of 10 of these at Starbucks or at Costco for like $12.99, and you air fry them. They're perfect. So if I didn't say that last week, there you go. If I did, there it is again, just like the voicemail.
Right. Boy, if there's ever proof that like once we're done recording, we forget like everything we talked about, this episode is it.
I thought that voicemail was a follow-up.
Okay.
You were like, I thought it was someone else saying, try this too, or verifying, like, here's how long to do it, but it was actually the same voicemail. So it was an honest mistake. Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up before we screw more stuff up.
All right. Follow us on all of our social media at I'm Fat Pod, imfatpod@gmail.com. Check out the Patreon or Spotify if you like for all that type of stuff. imfatmerch.com. New designs. Like the new designs look awesome. If you haven't gotten any of our newer designs or any of our classic designs, if there's not a sale right now, there's going to be in probably 20 minutes. That's just how imfatmerch.com works. Man, that if you're frying, I'm buying. That's so good. I love that. So that's probably going to be on my hit list for the next shirt that I end up getting. And then youtube.com/imfatpodcast to subscribe and like each video so you can see what we're talking about while we're doing the podcast. So that way you get nothing's lost to translation in the audio format. And even if you're not going to plan on watching it, please subscribe and like the videos anyway. That helps us out. And then, of course, with the regular podcast feed, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, unsubscribe, and resubscribe to help us boost in the old ratings. And then leave the old 5-star review and a rating because we're just trying to, get more exposure here. And, Dick needs more exposure. So, yes. That is a thing that I just said.
It is.
And it's weird because I don't like speaking in the third person. But yes. So help us out in that way. And the best thing you can do is check out our sponsors, Charlie the Baking Guy, Mazda of Orland Park, Frato's Culinary Kitchen, and Nick and Ivy Brewing. So for Jay, I'm Rick, and this is the I'm Fat Podcast.
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 Coke, 100 tater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta, 55 peppers, and 155 taters.